the magnitude and complexity of the challenges we face and has the strength and experience to address them from day one.
She was, of course, talking about the economy and trying to play up her experience. Barack Obama shot immediately back with this. Give a listen.
I am happy to compare my experiences to hers when it comes to the economy. My understanding was that she wasn't Treasury Secretary in the Clinton administration.
So, Kay, can you tell me, do you have a sense, are people sort of flirting with Barack Obama right now because they really like this idea of new direction, but that we may get very close to caucus time and perhaps the stakes of the election will cause strength and experienced voters to be a little more vocal?
You know, there is such a thing as Clinton fatigue, and as I've been to Barack Obama events, I've been chatting with supporters who are sitting there waiting for him to appear, and I was struck by what one woman told me about a month ago in Des Moines. She said that she had not been a big fan of Bill Clinton, and she wanted to move beyond the Clinton era. And so I do think that Barack Obama speaks to those people who are ready to, as Obama would say, turn the page. Conversely, Clinton herself is making the argument of experience, and in that very speech in Knoxville, of which your listeners just heard a little bit of, she referenced her time in the White House with Bill Clinton at least 16 times in half an hour, which is very remarkable. She's really stepped up the idea that she was very involved in the Clinton administration. In fact, one of the ways that she made that clear, I've lived in the White House, trying to, I guess, present herself as the candidate that is most experienced because of her connection to Bill Clinton.
And Kay, Hillary Clinton has a particular Iowa problem. I think we've said this since the beginning of the campaign. Bill Clinton never ran in the caucuses either in 1992 or in 1996. And an interesting comment I saw the other day from Tom Vilsack, the former governor of Iowa, one of the prominent supporters of Hillary Clinton, where he essentially said, I'm paraphrasing here, that she didn't really get what it means to have to work the caucus goers, to have the sort of personal contact that you need right away. Are we seeing adjustments? Have you seen differences in how the campaign is pitching itself, how Hillary Clinton is appearing on the trail as time has gone by over the last few months?
I do. Of course, the number of events she's holding in Iowa has increased dramatically. And Clinton herself, I had a conversation about this topic on November 3rd, and she indicated that she really didn't understand what the caucuses were not like, and now she understands that she has to persuade Iowans herself that she should be the nominee. I don't think she really got that before. I think she thought, you know, I can run some advertisements, I can have my husband go out and Madeleine Albright and some of these other prominent people who are supporting me, but then she found out that no, Iowans really want to meet you, they want to hear from you, and they want to take your measure in person.
Kay, Senator Clinton is coming off of several weeks of rough news cycles, particularly in your state of Iowa. She had that rough national debate performance in Philadelphia 3 weeks ago where she hemmed and hawed on driver's licenses for illegal immigrants. And then there was the little flap about whether or not she tipped a waitress at a diner in Iowa. And then, of course, the planted question flap, which also was an Iowa-centric story. And there are some numbers in our poll I want to show you that are starting to sort of get at what that coverage may be doing to her overall standing in Iowa. Take a look here on willing to speak his or her mind. Democrats were asked if the candidates are willing to speak his or her mind. Only 50% of Democrats in Iowa think Senator Clinton is willing to speak her mind. That's compared to almost 3/4 for Obama or Edwards. And then look at who's the most honest and trustworthy of the candidates. Clinton is losing that battle to Barack Obama by 2-1. He's at 31% of Democrats think he's most honest and trustworthy, compared to 15% for Senator Clinton. How damaging are those numbers there for her?
Well, I think they're reflective of what's been going on the ground in Iowa for months. John Edwards and Barack Obama for months have been making this argument that she is not truthful. Edwards in a much harsher mode, but Obama too has been making the case that we shouldn't have these old textbook campaigns, Washington-style politics. Obama's been making that case ever since Labor Day, and I think that's been hammered home, and people are finally reflecting in your polls that they're hearing that message from those two candidates.
Kay, briefly, I want to ask you, all the candidates like to point out the example of John Kerry running so far back in late 2003 and coming on to win the caucuses. Are any of the second or third tier candidates even, you think, primed to have a John Kerry type of surge? Chris Dodd or Joe Biden or Bill Richardson? Do any of them strike you as, who's your nominee for the sleeper candidate in this race?
Well, I think Biden would like to cast himself in that role, but I'm not quite sure he is the sleeper candidate. I really think that Richardson, because of his resume, because of his easygoing style and his repeated trips to the state, and the way he is engaged with Iowans, I think Richardson is poised to be that sleeper candidate, particularly if he increases his advertising message. He was nowhere to be seen in polls in the spring in Iowa, but he ran some very humorous ads and was able to put himself out there in the public in a way that none of the other candidates did, and he really increased his exposure in Iowa and his standing in the polls. I think if he comes out with some creative ad messages in the closing days of this campaign, that he could be the sleeper candidate.